All right. So, what do you guys think the most important things are in converting a lead? So, if you randomly are having a conversation with somebody, what are the things that you believe you must uncover to maximize your ability to convert a lead?
You want to make sure it's a lead by asking the question.
Shashan, I can't hear you. That was super muffled.
Can you hear me now?
It sounds like you're in a
Hello? Okay, hold on.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes.
Better.
I was saying that you want to make sure it's a good lead by asking the correct questions. You want to know the motivation, and all of that.
Perfect. So let me summarize what you just said because you hit the nail on the head. You ask questions to uncover motivation. You see, because in order to convert a lead, you have to have a definition of what a lead is. I'll repeat that. In order to convert a lead, you have to have a definition of what a lead really is. So if you're having a conversation with an adult about real estate, your whole goal is to uncover, is this a lead or is this just a contact? So the conversation we're having is a system. It's a system on how to grow your real estate business through something called lead generation. And so you have conversations, which are known as contacts. And as you're having a conversation, you're uncovering, are they a lead? So my definition of a lead is someone who is looking to buy or sell real estate, who is qualified, they're willing to work with me, and looking to do business within 90 days. Someone who is looking to buy or sell real estate, who is qualified, who is willing to work with me, and is looking to do business within 90 days. Can I get somebody to read that back to me?
Someone who's looking to buy within 90 days who is qualified. That's what I
Okay.
And also willing to work with me and looking to do business within 90 days.
Yeah. See, definitions are really important, guys.
Can I ask if that is a lead, then how would you define a buyer or a client?
So stand by. See, the key here is that when something new is introduced, as a person, you guys are going to go down rabbit holes. The key in this conversation is to stay even.
Pretty good. I'm in the middle.
Don't try to get really smart. Don't try to dumb it down. Just stay even.
Calling a lot, so
what is a lead? Someone who is looking to buy or sell real estate, who is qualified, who is willing to work with me and is looking to do business within 90 days. Now, I share this because there's a lot of depth in each one of these pieces. So let's break it down. Can somebody please read back to me what I just shared, verbatim?
So you've been calling a lot, so we can make this quick.
Okay. You said you wanted to stay even. You know, that's because each one has a different depth.
Yep. What is the definition of a lead? Just give me back the definition of a lead, David.
Okay, buy, sell real estate. 2, qualified. 3, willing to work with me. 4, looking to do business in 90 days.
Perfect.
Correct.
Now, I'm going to work backwards. Willing or wants to do business within 90 days. Okay. So let me share with you the difference between an agent who closes 60 transactions and an agent who closes 100 transactions. The difference between an agent who closes 100 transactions and an agent who closes 150 transactions. There's only one difference. Their definition of a lead. So before I gave you the definition of a lead, you don't need to raise your hand. However, could it be possible that your definition of a lead was anybody with a pulse?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the only way to grow your business is to have a parameter of who deserves your time. Because the biggest mistake a real estate agent makes getting into the business is they behave like an employee. Hey, I put in the work. I work 10 hours a day. I put in a hard day's work. But that's not how you grow a real estate business. You grow a real estate business simply by working with people who are willing to buy or sell real estate. Period. And so the shorter their motivation, the more transactions you will do. So example, if your definition was, well, if they have a pulse, they're a lead. And my definition is they're only a lead if they're looking to do business in the next 90 days. And if an agent who closes 60 transactions a year is they have to do business within the next 30 days. And somebody who does 150 transactions, their definition is they have to do business in the next 10 days. The only difference here, guys, is the amount of leads that are generated and the amount of conversations you're having. So as a real estate agent, lead conversion simply means lead generation with a laser focus on working with those that fit our model. Working with those who fit our model. That doesn't mean that you don't talk to people and help them. It simply means, Charles, that you don't put somebody in your car today who doesn't want to buy for the next 9 months. It simply means that if someone wants to buy next summer, that there's nothing you can do to help them today. But mistaking movement for achievement is the fastest way to fail out of the business, because you're having conversations with folks who aren't going to put money in your pocket over the next 90 days. So it means, Summer, that you have to have more conversations than you ever thought you needed to have to uncover those individuals that meet a lead. Because when you're having conversations in a sales environment, you have to know the definition between an objection and a condition. You see, a condition is a matter of fact you can do nothing about. It's a matter of fact that you could do nothing about.
But Lee, a quick question here. How do you determine when they are ready to buy? Because I have had some prospects or some leads, when I ask them how soon do you need to move out, or you need to be in your new place, and they tell me, oh, I need to do it right away. But at the end of the day, in reality, as I keep on digging, they're not ready to move, like you say, 90 days from now. Then I had another case this week when I had the conversation with a couple, and they say that they were looking, and they did not give me any time as a move out date or how soon they needed to be in their new place. And I have been in contact with them every single day. And today she just told me, oh, we bought a house. We signed a contract. I'm like, what happened?
Yeah.
Where did I go wrong?
Yeah, there very well is 1,000 places that you went wrong, and let's stay center. As a team right now, let's stay centered. See, we quickly can go down rabbit holes, yet if we don't understand the foundation or the basics, then we can't go into this scenario, that scenario, this scenario, this scenario, that scenario. It's like having a conversation and going, squirrel.
Gotcha.
So I got you, Liz, and we could dissect 1,000 ways. Yet, where were we?
You said mistaken movement by achievement is not putting money in your pocket. We need to work with
you see,
people that fit our model.
We were talking about conditions versus objections.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very important, guys, that if you have a question, write it down. Because like they say in White Men Can't Jump, you can hear me, but are you listening to me?
Gotcha.
Because I was just explaining the difference between a condition and an objection, and we just went straight down a rabbit hole about something that is a situational question versus a foundation fundamental of real estate. So again, a condition is a matter of fact that you could do nothing about. And an objection is a question in the mind of the seller or the buyer or the tenant.
Give them one example of condition.
My lease is up next January. I
cannot find them. I cannot convince them to buy something today.
What's that, Eddie?
I cannot convince them to buy something today because it's a condition.
It's a matter of fact.
Yeah.
I'm not buying anymore. My credit isn't high enough to buy. I just bought a boat and I don't have any cash. It's a fact. There's nothing that I can do about that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Liz, the first part of growing a real estate business is understanding that there are conditions and there are objections in
Okay.
converting leads.
Okay.
Then you must have a definition of what a lead is. Liz, can you repeat back the definition that I shared of what a lead is?
You said someone that who's looking to buy or sell. Number two, who someone that's qualified. Number three, someone that is willing to work with me. And number four, someone who's looking to do business within the 90 days. And that can
Excellent.
always vary.
Excellent.
Perfect. So if you make a definition of 6 months, then just know you won't sell as much real estate as if you have a definition of 90 days. Then if you have a definition of 45 days, or
I'm
if you
gonna
have
just
a definition of 30 days.
I'm gonna just say something to Liz for 1 second.
Mhm.
Liz, did you see that four things you just said?
Yes.
Right. Out of the 4 things, I think one definition fits your buyer you talked about. They were not willing to work with you.
Correct.
Did you see what I'm saying? This is what Lee's trying to explain.
Right.
They
Well-
need to fit all those 4 things to be able to work with you.
Well, hold that thought, Eddie. I appreciate you going there, and I agree with you. And so let's break this down. So are they looking to buy or sell? How would you know, David, if they're looking to buy or sell?
I guess they're being motivated. They seem a little bit more, would be motivated.
Let me make it easy for you because you asked them. You would know if they're looking to buy or sell because you asked them, are you looking to buy or sell?
Okay.
Guys, real estate is super simple. This is a super simple business.
Lee,
When you
want-
ask them,
Lee, you want to role play with me?
I
So they
want to
could understand?
continue the definition of a lead. Guys, because we could role play, we could start getting all advanced.
Okay.
But if you don't have the definition of a lead down, we could role play all we want, Eddie.
Okay.
So the second is they're qualified. So qualified means ready, willing, and able. Ready, I'm ready to buy. I'm ready to sell. Willing, I have the motivation to perform a real estate transaction. Able, I have the money. I have the approval to borrow money. And I have a reason to go through the process. Ready, willing, and
and
able means qualified.
Qualified.
See, Eddie, we can't go 100 miles an hour until
No,
we
I
go
understand.
5
I
miles an
understand.
hour.
No, they need to know the basic
Yeah.
first. Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we go to the next step.
Number 3, they're willing to work with me. We know this because we asked them. Hey, Liz, does this make sense?
Yes.
Would you be willing to work with me until we find the right home for you?
Yes.
Hey, Liz, are you familiar with the techniques that I use to help people just like you find the right house? Is that
No.
something that you'd be willing to learn more about?
Definitely.
I ask the question, are you willing to work with me?
That's where I fail.
It's a very tough question, guys. If you don't have enough people to work with, you will be afraid to ask the question.
Yep.
But don't worry, it'll come up eventually.
Yep.
Unfortunately, when you think you have a lead and they tell you, oh, I just bought a house by my next door neighbor or my cousin, or I drove by a for sale by owner and called them. Are you willing to work with me? And number 4, what's important about buying in the next 90 days? What's important about buying in the next year? What's important about buying blank? Tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. Once you have the definition down, now all of your conversations are geared towards, is this person someone I should follow up with? It doesn't mean that you're a jerk or that you ignore them, but it simply means, is this a contact where I am nurturing, I'm communicating with, I'm providing value? Or is this someone who can help me move my business forward? Contact, lead, completely different things. A contact is a conversation with a decision-making adult about real estate. And we should be having no less than 20 of those a day, Summer. 20 conversations with folks who have a red sign in front of their house that says, I'm trying to rent my property. Or they have a red sign in front of their house saying, I want to sell my property by myself. Or you generating leads through Facebook ads or Craigslist or whatever mode you generate leads, you are having conversations and determining, is this a lead? Are they looking to buy or sell? Are they willing to work with me? Are they qualified? And are they looking to do business within 90 days or 60 days or 6 months? Whatever definition you want to create. So when we talk lead conversion, all we're simply talking about is definitions. Because when you have a clear definition, you then can have conversations that guide towards, is this someone who can help me get to the finish line?
Now, Lee, just because I'm new and I don't have enough leads, should I be fearing from asking these direct questions, which will lead me to believe this is a valuable lead for me to work or not? Should I be scared or
We should
intimidated?
never be fearful, Eddie.
Yes.
We should never be fearful. What we should be doing is spending at least an hour every day getting better at what to say. Every day. Every day.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
Hi there, how you doing? All right, so I think what I need to work on are number crunching, is understanding the numbers, how to speak to, like, for sale by owner people who have high expectations in financing, and I'd like to try to work through what I had to say with them in terms of numbers. That's my question. So.
Because these questions they're going to ask again and again, so I'd rather them hear it.
Yeah,
learn.
for sure. So the importance of learning what to say. So in 2005, I made a decision to embark on a career in real estate. I was 24 years old, and I was running away from the career path that I had chosen. And it was making sure no airplanes blew up. That was my job. So I worked for the Department of Homeland Security, and this was 2005, so a couple years after 9/11. And I was 3 years in the business in on this path. I started in 2002, and I said I am getting out. Like, I bought my first house in 2004, and my real estate agent was one of my fraternity brothers. He was one of my buddies, and so he let me do everything. I was on the MLS till 1 o'clock at night.
Oh my
Searching, and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. Wow. And I would find properties, and I'd say, I want to look at these, and he would say, all right, and we would go look, and I probably looked at 40 properties. I was that buyer. Now, make a long story short, I had gotten a bonus because I was an exemplary employee. I was awesome. And I got a bonus for $250. And I said, wait a second, I'm working 50 to 55 hours a week, overtime, right? 15 hours of overtime, breaking my back to make $40,000 a year. And Candace, my real estate buddy, was 21 years old, making $175,000. And I went, if this punk can make $175,000, all respect to him, I got to get into real estate.
He's no better than me.
So fast forward, that was 2004. 2005, I make a decision to get my real estate license. And I started taking the school in May 2005. Now, at this time, and this is so important that you guys hear all of this, in 2005 in May, I got wind that the company he was at Century 21, that the manager was leaving Century 21 to open his own company. To open his own company. And that he was opening up a brokerage that was going to teach one way to make a highly successful real estate business. And the coaching is looking back, it's called the Mike Ferry School of Real Estate. And so it's a very sales-based, focused real estate practice that says time is money and money is time, and you should run the most efficient way to grow a business. I was like, sign me up. And so this is May of 2005. And so they gave me this O-ring, so a metal ring with a bunch of cards. So think of cards like that big and an O-ring. And so you would read the card and you would flip it, and you read a card and you flip it, and you read a card and you flip it, like you were studying for a test. And so I would show up at the office. This is May of 2005. I would show up in the office at 6:30 in the morning, Monday through Friday. And I would put in a VHS tape, because that's the way things were.
Mm-hmm.
I put in a VHS tape, and it was called the Script Workout. And it was about a 10-minute video of the different scripts that we would use to generate leads. It was a for sale by owner script. It was an expired script. It was a just listed script. It was a just sold script, and it was a sphere of influence script. And I would watch the video at 6:30, and I would do the activities every day. Every day. And then at 7 a.m., I would get on the phone. And I would start generating leads at 7 a.m. until 10:30 in the morning. Because I had to then, in my uniform, get in my car and drive 40 minutes to the airport to then start my shift at 12:30. Which then ended at 9, because remember, 8-hour shift, but you don't get paid for lunch. So you got to put that extra half hour on there. 12:30 to 9. And I would go home, go to sleep, wake up in the morning, show up at the office at 6:30, put in the VHS tape, do the script workout, and get on the phone at 7 o'clock in the morning. Every day. Shoshana, as if I had a real job. Then, May, June, July, every day. On July 15th, took my real estate test, passed, had my license. The very next weekend, I said, I'm doing real estate full time. I'm going to go part-time at TSA, and I'm going to work 7 days a week because I wanted to keep my health benefits. And at the 3-year mark, I'm vested on my matching TSP, Thrift Savings Plan, which is a 401k for the government. So for 6 months, July 15th through December 31st, I worked 7 days a week, 5 days in real estate, 2 days, 16 hours on the weekend. While I sat at the machine on break, flipping the scripts. We would have 7 people at a machine, which means we would take a break every 20 minutes or 30 minutes for 15 minutes. So 15 minutes, you move positions, and then one person would go on break, and then you go through the positions, and one person would go on break. And I would study the scripts all day. All day. Because Shoshana, I knew that this was a very simple business. That all you have to do, Candace, is just learn. What are they going to say? So that when they say it, you go, that's a great question. I'm so glad you brought that up. Boom, and you answer it. Boom, you answer it. You don't go, oh my God, I'm so, yeah. You go,
Great question.
Sounds like that's important to you. Would you mind if? And then you handle the objection. You don't make anything up. Here's a secret, Candace. Secret. And you know this because you teach people. If you say the exact same thing to every single one of your musician clients, do they have any idea you said the same thing to the person before when they left?
No, of course
They
not.
have no idea that you said the exact same thing to the person who just left.
This is true.
So you say the exact same thing to every single person every single time, and you will make an ungodly amount of money in real estate. Summer, whether you know how to sell real estate or not, it doesn't matter. You just say the same things to every single person, and you fake it until you make it. You see, when you just make things up, they know. They know. And they'll say, you're too young. You have no idea what you're doing. I showed up at 24 years old in a suit and tie every day. Every day. Because I was 24 years old. And people would look at me and go, how old are you? Well, how old do you think I am? How old would you want your agent to be? Do you want an agent who's old and slow, or do you want an agent who's young and hungry? What?
This
You
is
think
a
I
script too,
practiced
right?
that? Do you think I
This is a-
practiced that? But I was dressed in a suit and tie,
Yeah.
looking at them in the eye. Meanwhile, they have no idea that I didn't sell anything before, that I had never been in sales. I just learned, holy shit, they're going to call me out because I'm 24 years old. I better get an objection handler for it. Guys, this is the most simple business. It's not easy, but it's simple. Just learn what to say. Shoshana, you should be studying scripts like you study the menu. This is such a simple business, guys. And hopefully what you took away from this is that you don't need to make this complicated. Just practice every day at the same time. Follow a schedule. And if you have a question, you have Eddie. You have a resource. You just have to go, Eddie, hey, I said this, but they said that. And then Eddie will give you the answer of what to say and what to do. Guys, my first 6 months when I worked 7 days, July through December, I closed 6 transactions. My first 6 months in the business. Then January through December, at 25 years old, I closed 19 transactions. At 26 years old, I closed 28 transactions. Not because I'm better, but because I understood that this is a simple business. And if I speak to enough people, I will work with enough people, whatever enough means. And if I work with enough people, I will write enough contracts, whatever enough means. And if I write enough contracts, enough will stick, and I will close enough of whatever that means to me. And so, Candace, as we went down this little rabbit hole of, hey, how do I tell him? You don't tell him anything. You learn their motivation and you have a conversation about their motivation, which is sales 101.